Let's go.
Now, a good chunk of y'all may not see this at first, but fighting games and rhythm games are kindred spirits. Both are known for having amazing soundtracks, both are known for being played with non-standard controllers, and both of them are known for having extremely high execution at times, even though a lot of people see it as just mashing buttons. But in reality, it's not button mashing, it's autistic button mashing. Completely different. So what happens when these two kindred spirits meet up in a disgusting nightclub bathroom to do some dirty dancing? Well, you get that good nasty dripping down their legs known as slap happy rhythm busters. Wow, I could explain that better, but anyway, how did this game manage to be both a fighting game and a rhythm game? What is the story of this game? And is it actually worth talking about? Well, let's go ahead and find out. You eat today, you drink today, good. My name is Heina Breezy, I hope you are doing well, and this is Enter the Heat of Battle. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and make it toasty while you like, subscribe, and hit that bell button as we two-step our way to
Into the Heat of Battle.
Slap Happy Rhythm Busters was made for the original PlayStation by Polygon Magic, a developer that seems to make it a trend to make fighting games that everybody forgot about, because they were also behind Fighters Impact and Versus. And odds are if you weren't fiending around for fighting games at that time, or you weren't watching Scrub Lords back in the day, yeah, you probably never heard of these. But Slap Happy Rhythm Busters absolutely stands out among the rest, right? Because it is fucking oozing style. It comes with this goddamn beautiful Shibuya Funk art style that was pioneered by Jet Set Radio, and the game's art director, Yuta Ueda. But then its UI design adds some Y2K aesthetic flair to it. Along with this, I'm pretty sure it's called Bubblegum Dance aesthetic, with some Bubble Glam 2 added to it. And you know what else brings that same aesthetic and vibe? That's right, Dance Dance Revolution! I will make you realize I've always been right by your side. Now I love Slap Happy Rhythm Busters was obviously inspired by the Dance Dance Revolution craze. And that's real fucking easy to tell when we see how this fighting game becomes a rhythm game mid-fight. So once you're past that character select screen and get to the round start, you get this real fun and lively 2.5D fighter. You got your standard KOF style 4-button system, light punch, heavy punch, light kick, heavy kick, do a motion, then light and heavy to do a super, you know, that type shit, right? While the fight goes on, as you attack and defend, you're building up your beat gauge, which is this game's version of a super meat. And if you choose to let that beat gauge get filled to the tippy top, you're gonna see this flashing beat. Now you can hit heavy punch and heavy kick to activate your beat rush. The beat rush is half super attack and half minigame, where you and your opponent go at it in this Persona dancing style rhythm game, where you're trying to hit each note, because with each note you hit, the more damage you're gonna do, but while you do that, your opponent is trying to undermine you to stay alive. And if you somehow do good enough and are able to knock that motherfucker out with a beat rush, you are then rewarded with a fever attack. The fever attack is this game's version of a cinematic super, where a character dances so hard you fucking die. And speaking of characters, let's go ahead and see which ones we got in this game. Because god damn, I love every single one of them. They are all hitters, no missers, fucking amazing characters. Let's kick it off with Rude Boy. Rude Boy is the leader of the Cloud Gang and the one that started this half fighting, half dancing tournament to let everybody know that he is the toughest in town. And oddly, while he's setting up the tournament, there's this flying UFO going around downtown This is gonna cause a bunch of different fighters to join the tournament and try to figure out what that UFO is. Then we have our fiery protagonist, Ramos. Ramos is a DJ that also does some street fighting on the side, but you better be real nice when giving him feedback on his beats, because what Josuke is to his hair, he is to his music. As in, if he criticizes it too much, he's gonna beat your fucking ass. And what is a protagonist in a fighting game without having a dark counterpart? And we get that with Ramos when he is corrupted by the evil Mercantile that we'll talk about later. But for now, let's move on to Ramos' friend, and who I believe is the most popular character in this game, Mia. Mia is basically Chun-Li if she grew up in Kyoto running around with the GGs. Now for our next character, you know how I said this game is like a mix of KOF and DDR? Well, let's go ahead and throw goddamn Crazy Taxi in that crazy ass blender, because we got Oreg. Oreg is a taxi driver, but the need for speed is so high that he went ahead and turned his normal taxi into a goddamn Mad Max machine. And the guy that helped him check out this crazy ass vehicle is I mean Dr. Volt. Dr. Volt is basically Dr. Frankenstein on crack. And you may say, why is that? Well, you know how Dr. Frankenstein builds a monster out of different body parts of people? Well, Dr. Volt says, fuck it, take this whole goddamn motherfucking gorilla. Yeah, that's right, Dr. Volt doesn't do any of the fighting. That's all up to his Congolese bioengineered gorilla, known as Baron. And we also have another character who was playable that's a creation of Dr. Volt, and that is the rowdy and reckless cyborg known as Nitro. Nitro ended up cutting ties with Dr. Volt to be rowdy and reckless somewhere else. Now let's move on from one giant freak to another with the brothers Chad and Graham. Chad and Graham are basically Farrah and Tor before Farrah and Tor, with Graham being the bugged out big one on the bottom and the bugged out little one on top, with the hammer being Chad. Both Chad and Graham work at a butcher shop ran by another character that's playable named Holman. Now Holman may look like a giant freakish slasher movie monster, but actually, he's just a man that really is in love with his craft of cutting meat. And honestly, don't we all wish to have a job that we really love and have a passion for? And that passion goes so far to the point that he wants to break into that mysterious UFO that I talked about earlier when I talked about Rude Boy, and take back all the cows that the UFO was abducted. You know, standard backwoods alien type stuff. He wants to take all those cows and bring them to his butcher shop to do what butcher shops do. But there's one character that will have a problem with that, April the cowgirl. April is a gunslinger who had her favorite bull taken by the UFO. Now it's time for her to go guns a-blazing and go ahead and try to get her bull back. Someone else who was headed for that UFO is the Moroccan fortune teller known as Daria, who I actually talked about in another episode of Enter the Heat of Battle, where I talked about black fighting game characters that have gone forgotten. So yeah, maybe check that one out too, pretty please. But for now, I'll go ahead and give you another rundown of her. She is a fortune teller who also sees that the UFO is coming down to Earth and is gonna try to do her best to make sure it doesn't hurt anybody, as well as making sure that the evil Mercantile doesn't get a chance to hurt anybody. Mercantile is a very creepy and crazed assassin who fights with wolves instead of his fist. He's out to kill two teenage girls, Vivian and Roxy. And why exactly is this old nasty assassin trying to kill these two girls? I mean, look at this crazy old bitch, of course he would. Anyway, Vivian and Roxy are two characters that are basically joined at the hip, and they can be found kicking ass together as a tag team. Now let's get back to characters who are trying to get to that UFO with Tom Tom. Tom Tom is a graffiti artist who has the power to bring his art to life. Now he plans to be the first person on the planet to ever tag a UFO, but not if the slick street cleaner named Trash, yes, that is his real name, has anything to say about it. And not being found too far away from Trash is the gas-powered Yuri, who has a massive crush on him. She also likes to hang around the candy shop, and at that candy shop is the mascot Frosty, who will actually hunt you down like a feral dog on acid if you decide to browse and not pay. Now let's go from the candy shop to the tattoo shop with Sledge. Sledge is a man who is obsessed with tattoos and plans to go all the way to Japan to learn more about them. He's even the guy that gave Oreg that crazy checker tattoo on his face. Sledge ended up getting the idea of going to Japan by the swordsman known as Zeku, who had his sword passed down to him by his father. Zeku joins the tournament to be on the lookout for his evil and sinister brother known as Jaku. And finally, rounding out the cast, the one that is in the pilot seat of that UFO is Stealth, who, get this, just has a special interest in cows. So that's why he's going around stealing people's cows, because he plans to hopefully one day get one of every single type of cow. And you know what? I hope he does. Good for him. Everyone should have a special interest. But as you can see, the characters in this game are exactly what you would hope for when you hear the concept of a rhythm fighting game. They're filled with the personality of your favorite fighting game characters and the style of the coolest looking models in the DDR game. And personally for me, these character designs hold a very special near and dear space in my heart, because if you look at the way that I like to design my own characters, and if you look at the way the art director and character designer for Slap Happy Rhythm Busters, Kei Miyazaki, designs his characters, you can see that I like to pull from a lot of the same influences that they do. Japanese street fashion, especially from places like Fruits Magazine, East Coast boom bap rap culture, early 2000s skater and grunge culture, Eurodance aesthetic, and like a shit ton of other stuff I don't got time to go into right now. But enough about the look of the game. What does this game actually sound like with its music? I would describe it as these EDM and drum and bass tracks that all hit you hard as hell with every single beat. Perfect music to beat somebody to death and then dance over their grave to. Now, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these tracks are very hit or miss for me, but the ones that do hit do their job with absolute precise perfection. With my favorite tracks being Ben Power by 8Juke and Dragon by Warping a Relative. And I didn't even have to look far to see what these tracks are named and who made these tracks, because the game will tell you right before a round starts, which oddly enough isn't something that you'll see in your average game. And that's because Slap Happy Rhythm Busters is not your average game. Now, it isn't the first fighting game to incorporate rhythm game aspects to it. I want to say Darkstalkers had that idea first with Lilith and one of her supers. And it wasn't the last either, because in Persona 4 Arena, Risa does that with her super. But there was no other game at this time who perfectly blends two different genres of games together like this game does. The motifs, the aesthetics, the art, the characters, the music. This game is so sublime in blending these two different genres together. I love this game's inspirations, I love this game's art style, I love this game's characters, I love this game's cel-shaded graphics, and honestly, I just love the vibes, you know? But most importantly, I love Slap Happy Rhythm Busters. What about you? Have you heard of this game before? Do you like anything that you heard about it? Or do you just hate the game altogether? Go ahead and let me know in the comments, but try your best not to be an asshole about it, alright? And if you want a deeper dive into the mechanics of the game, go ahead and check out Guile Wencoat's video on it that he did a few years ago, and make sure you subscribe over there while you're at it. And for the Gorgon Man speaking in your ear right now, you can keep up with me, my art, and my videos by following me over on BLUESKY. And if you're feeling gracious and want to see these videos come out faster and in better quality, you can go ahead and donate to my Ko-fi. Or if you want me to make some custom art for you, or if you want me to voice something for you, you can commission me through my website. And before I go, I just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart, from my goddamn loins, for 1,000 subscribers. Gonna be real as hell now. I did not think that 1,000 of you would stick around to see these videos. I thought maybe like 50 or so maybe would, but seeing 1,000 of you it's really cool. It's really cool. So yeah, thank y'all. I want to give back to y'all in some way. I'm thinking of a video, sort of a 1,000 subscriber special, to where I incorporate your ideas for fighting games or whatever into that video. I'll keep you updated with more stuff on it when I actually come up with a concrete idea. But for now, I know times are tough, really tough right now, but we will get through it. I've been behind the breezy, I was here, and I did the best I can. Later.
I know that you'll be back.